I take photos away from home on a regular basis, and I've often found a bit of friction between taking the photos and potentially doing edits on your mobile device, like an iPhone, a tablet, whatever, and then coming back to the desktop and trying to continue those. Now, some software has a sync feature, others don't, and until recently, Luminar Neo and Luminar Mobile was in that camp of not having a sync. But thankfully, Skylum have released what they're calling their Skylum Luminar Ecosystem, which allows you to take photos and do edits on your mobile. For example, here I've opened a photo of an iguana, I think it is, in my Luminar mobile app. And I'm just doing some fairly crude edits here just to kind of show you the the edits that you can do. And this is certainly not comprehensive, but it gives you an idea on lots of things that you can change. So you can do the contrast, several AI tools, color, white balance, and so on. And I'm doing some basic tweaks here, really just to show you me starting the process. I could also crop this as well, might be good just to make it a little bit nicer. And so once I'm happy with the changes that I've made to this photo, noting that I'm going to continue to edit it on the desktop. If I wasn't going to edit it anymore, I could just export, but now I want it to go across to Luminar Neo. And it won't do that until I've actually finished doing the edits. So now that I've finished the edits, I can hit the back button. And what it's now going to do is it's going to save that image to the cloud effectively, to Skylum servers. And it's going to then synchronize that with Luminar Neo on the desktop. Now, obviously it depends on internet connections and a whole range of things as to how fast this is actually going to be. But in my experience, usually it's about 20 or 30 seconds roughly. And I can now see that that has appeared on my desktop app. So I'm going to jump across to the desktop app, and I've got three separate photos here that I have actually been working on the mobile. So I'm going to import three photos, and these are then going to move across to Space imports, where I can then see what I'd done with these photos. So if I go across to my iguana photo, I can then move across to edit. One thing I didn't mention before is that the photos can only be edited once they've been imported to the catalog. So in here, in Luminar Mobile, where they'll sit, you can't click on edit. But once you've imported them, they'll sit in Space imports and you can do your edits. So this one, I obviously went to extremes and you can see that the color looks terrible. But what you can also see is in the edit section of edit, you can see all of the things that I've done to this image. So I can go back and I might say, well, actually accent AI, I went way too far on, so let's drop that back a little bit. And you can see all of the edits that I'd actually done before on the mobile are now within the edit section here. So it's quite seamless that it just jumps across from one section to the other, which I think is fantastic because it makes it much easier to start an edit on your mobile device like an iPhone or whatever else, and then bring that across later. And as I said, that was one photo as the example, but I've got others where I've been working on an Aurora photo or something else, and I can then see all of the edits within here. And maybe you've gone a little bit too far on some of the edits, so you can always come in, dial the structure back. Maybe I put relight on, but actually it wasn't the right thing for this photo. So I can then delete relight completely and tweak it as I see fit. So I think this is a great feature that really works to kind of reduce that friction between going from working on a mobile device to moving across to Luminar Neo. Now, I hope you found this useful. If you've got any questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments and let me know if this is something you'll use. Thanks for watching.